balance being a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. And on the show today, I have with me a very beautiful lady. She's a wife. First of all, she's an engineer. Then she's a wife, a mother, and also an entrepreneur. She does lots of beautiful things. And her name is Pamela BAKO. It's good to have you on the show today.
Thank you. I'm honored today to be with you.
Thank you very much. How do you cope being a wife, being a mother and entrepreneur? Because I know you're into a lot of things.
Yes.
So these are things that really need your attention. So how do you cope?
Well, I would say being a wife and a mother is a huge sacrifice. It's a beautiful sacrifice, I must say. Being an entrepreneur on the other side, of course, we need to be financially independent as women. Looking at how much abuse has come to stay in Nigeria and in families, most times the reason why it's because women are not going out there to work hard and see what they can put on the table. I'm not saying that's the general part of it, but it's a beautiful thing to know you're earning your own money and you're a boss to your own self. Because I always have this saying, your money is your voice as a woman. So talking about how I managed this, I actually did software engineering in my undergraduate, and it's interesting. I did my project under Agile Scrum, which is iterative incremental. I don't know if you understand that. It's basically planning your day in a life cycle.
Okay.
So if we're talking about how I manage my day, being a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, a boss, multiple businesses, of course, I use Agile Scrum, and I usually daily write all I need to achieve, and I time them. So when it's time for this, I know it's this, and it's time for this, I know it's this. And then for my businesses, considering the fact that I have so many businesses, I do travel agents, I mentor master's students at my university in the UK. I have a skincare product, I have clothing line product. I take every day and every time for each business. So it's not generally all the business at once. I have meetings with all my teams every day, different teams at a time. And that's how I manage my thing. And for my family, I work from home actually. I have my businesses, I have outlets in Kaduna here. But I work from home because I need to spend time with my family. Consider the fact that there are quite a lot of abuses today. I try to stay and watch my kids grow. It's not enough that we have people that work for us. It's a good thing that we always have our eyes on it as women, as wives. So we wouldn't have stories like your child was molested and you were never there and all that. That's how I put everything together. Thank you very much. Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Thank
and you made mention of Agile Scrum.
Yeah.
Please, can you just give us a little tip?
Okay.
An app? Or what is it all about?
So, Agile Scrum is part of project management.
Okay.
Because I'm an IT person and I'm a software guru. Agile Scrum is a life cycle. If you're executing a project, you need to plan for the project. That's a life cycle of that project.
More of planning.
Yes. So you are a project owner, and then you have people who work for you. So you time it.
Okay.
So what is iterating your work today? What you need to do better tomorrow? That's what Agile Scrum is. How you work, how much effort can you put, how much have you achieved, and how much effort would you put tomorrow? That's what Agile Scrum is. It's just a life cycle of projects. So I put projects every day in my life. Every day, except Sunday. Just Sunday I don't put projects.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for those of us that are just hearing that word for the first time, Agile Scrum means you planning your day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
And she being a tech guru, she had to, plan her day. And this is very essential to our day-to-day living. There is no way you can start your day without planning. You're a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, and maybe you have like series of businesses you manage. You cannot do without planning. You must plan. Even when you're not married, your students, and you have another side business, you must still plan. So thank you.
Thank
And
you so much.
I want to ask, we have lots of women now that are complaining. We hear women say, I want to do this, but my husband doesn't want me to do that. You understand?
Right.
And we also hear from the men, like giving excuses. Okay, I cannot allow my wife to work
Right.
or to do business because it takes her time away from the family.
Right.
And their reasons are really genuine. You understand? With
Yeah.
everything that is happening now. So, and we know that, okay, there are some wives there are some women that have managed to,
Yeah.
keep all this,
Yes.
and they're still doing very well.
Right.
So please, can you elaborate more, can you speak more,
Right.
what will you tell women? Yes, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
What will you tell women? How can they put all these things in check and still be perfectly a wife, a mother, and your business is still going fine?
Right. So there's a part I didn't tell you. I was a banker. I was a brand ambassador for Fidelity Bank, and when I got married newly, it's one of the most exciting jobs I have actually. I've actually worked. The bank was actually, in fact, the position was so beautiful. I loved it. But then there's one thing I realized. It was taking most of my time. I don't have time for my family. And then, so I sat down one day and I said, my husband was okay with the job. But I sat down one day, I said, look, I don't have time for my family. I leave home 6, I come back home 6. So, I don't have time for my family. I decided, right, okay. So I quit this job and I decided to balance it with business, so I can spend more time with my family. Well, what I would advise women, in today's world is, not every man will like every business. You understand? And I think the fear of men is, I wouldn't conclude, but I think the fear of men would be that the women don't abandon the children.
Yes.
So I would advise, if you can work from home, if you can come up with, innovative ideas and work from home, maybe start something small. It doesn't matter, no matter how small. Catering is good nowadays. People are trying to buy stuff. People are trying to eat edibles that are done from other people.
So you can do from home.
Yes. Of course. I think 2 years ago we looked at Agrimat, which is one of my companies, agriculture and technology, and we've been advising women to go into being agronomists. Doing small farms in their home, trying to bring out strawberries and all that. There are plants that work there. So you could decide that you start a little business, beadwork, and there are a lot of business you can do at home. So I advise women to, if it's the fear of men is, stay at home. So you could stay at home and do good businesses, and I'm sure you achieve. WhatsApp is there, Facebook is there. People are selling drifts, second new clothes, and there's so much to do. There's so much out there to do. Yeah.
The internet has made it so easy for us these days to earn a living.
Yeah.
There are lots of graduates waiting for jobs.
That's right.
There are lots of undergraduates in school.
Right.
So if you're waiting for you to graduate, then you get a job, that might really be impossible. Because the funny thing is that we are all graduates.
That's
She's
right.
a graduate, I'm a graduate. But we are all into business. We have series of businesses we are handling. So at the end of the day, and you come and you graduate and you have nothing to hold on to, how will you cope? You understand? So we are trying to talk to women. You have to have something at hand. Then the men are saying, we don't want our women out there. And we are trying to tell them, okay, sweetie, I'm going to do this. And it's not going to take my time away from you.
That's right.
It's not going to take my time away from the
Children.
You understand?
Yes.
From the children.
Yes.
And we see things that are happening now.
Yeah.
Just recently, yesterday, you heard what about the 10-year-old girl,
Oh, yes,
the video
yes,
that
yes, yes,
and all that. So, I want to talk on that.
Right.
Are we blaming the school? Or are we to blame the school? Are we to blame the society? Or are we to blame the parents? Because on my own knowledge is, no matter how much you acquire, and at the end of the day, you don't have peace in your home. You don't have peace,
That's right.
you don't have peace in your home. There is the money you have piled will not make sense to you. So now I want us to like just breathe on that, you know. And we are all young women, you know, young mothers, and the issue now we have mostly when things like this come up, you hear people talk about women of this generation. They don't know how to discipline their children. They don't know how to take care. So we don't even know the future of the next generation. Right. So now you're a young mother. Yes. What will you tell young mothers? How will you? We know we cannot really teach them how to handle their homes, but to an extent, you can share idea. You can enlighten. You understand? How will you do that? So can you just?
Looking at the story, the news that was going around in the country about this young girl who went to this Christland, and what's the name of the school? I went to Dubai on a holiday. It's heartbreaking. You know, when I analyzed that video, you know, what came to my mind was, I feel that I wouldn't insult the mom, but I feel that the mom does not pay attention to her children. Yes. Looking at that child's body alone, this is long happening. It didn't just start, you know, and you could automatically tell that this child is exposed to porn with, you know, of course, what you see, you know, and with no fear, no shame, you know, it's very heartbreaking. This child till date does not know what she's doing at the age of 10. She's not even a teenager yet. Yes. So there's still this childishness, but yet eager to grow. So, you know, like I did say earlier, our parents, their parents, young women, dads, are more interested in competing with other parents. Okay, my child should have an iPhone.
Yes. She goes to this school.
Yeah, and so you don't even monitor what they watch. It's amazing how Africans have gone too far, exposing their children to a lot of dangerous, you know, stuff. You know, living abroad, I've lived in the UK for at least 8 years, and I will tell you the truth. We are the ones that are excited about having iPhone 13, iPhone 35, and what have you. You know, they are still using very little phones.
Yes, iPhone 6, 7.
They barely even use this iPhone thing. They use their Siemens, you know, the Nokias. They still use that. And their children are not even exposed to these things, because you have to sign a contract when you were 18 in a mobile company before they could release a phone for you.
Most times we shift our responsibilities to schools. And yes, we, like you said, mates.
Yeah.
Or people stay with us.
Yeah.
We don't monitor. You say, how will an 8-year-old, 6-year-old child own a phone and you don't follow up? Like what my husband did to my son's tablet, because you know this e-learning and the issue with this, the issue of Kaduna State. Yeah. You know, there was a time they had to go to stay at home. Yes, security challenge. They had to stay at home. Yeah. So we had to get a tablet for e-learning. What my husband did was he connected. I don't know, maybe people that own that. I don't know how he did it, but I know there is a parental guidance where you can connect both gadgets together. Whatever activity is going on the, so when there is a new download, my husband gets notification. That's right. And these are things we know. So it's even easy for us. They can own these phones. Absolutely. And we can still monitor them. True. You understand? Yeah. Now parents are quick to throw their kids, like I said earlier on, to throw their kids in expensive schools. Like it's made mention of being competitive. My son is having a Samsung tab. Your son is having a Samsung tab. I want to get iPhone. You understand? The competition. We are not just competing among adults. We are putting our children into this competition. Absolutely. And we don't know we are putting them into danger. Yes. We know you as a wife, a mother, and also an entrepreneur. Yes. Is there a time that you have thought of giving up? Maybe sometimes you're like, maybe I married early, or this my beautiful son. This might not be the time for you to have come. You understand? Yeah. Or this business I would have not even started. But you know you have already created you have already created trust. Yes. Your husband has entrusted you. Yes. Has his wife. Yes. You have a son that is looking up to you. And now you have your customers. That's right. And you were like, Wow. So, have there been a time that you have been so overwhelmed with all these things?
I think one of the painful part of business is having customers who wouldn't even patronize you but would go out and try to ruin the business for you. It can be very painful. I started business when I was 9 years old. I started selling kuli kuli when I was in primary school. That's when I started doing business, and I haven't looked back at business. But every business has a challenge at every time. Every business is a season. What I have done with my business, so I don't get frustrated, is my businesses have their seasons. My travel agent is January to April. My shea butter business is during the cold season. My soft drink business is during the heat season. So I try to balance it up because it's not everything that works at every time. So having one business is not enough. Multiple incomes gives you more peace. It won't come at all. It doesn't come all at the same time, does it? It doesn't come all at the same time. When I'm mentoring people for my university, usually December, or maybe by May when they're about to write their project for their master's projects. So it doesn't all come at the same time. So the times where I am free, I face my family fully. I enjoy a beautiful company with my son. He's growing up really fast. Before now, when I got married, my plan was to go back and do PhD. Then, well, things happened and I got pregnant and I was like, okay, let's stay over here. But I have not looked back. It's really been amazing.
Right. Kudos to all the supportive husbands out. Yeah. And also, because you're able to put all these things in check. So now we look at some women today and you find out that some of them are relaxed. There are truly some that the husbands want them to do some things, you understand? The husbands want them to work. But there are these ideal wives that are like, no, I just want to sit down, relax, and be taken care of. Yes. I don't want to do anything.
Those are the queens.
The man is the head of the family, so
you must carry the family on the head.
You must provide. You understand?
Right.
So what will you tell these women? Because the truth is that aside being, at times I tell women you're being selfish.
That's right.
For you to think this.
That's right.
Have you thought of your children? God forbid it. What if your husband is no more? How are you going to cope?
That's right.
You understand? What if he's even there, or he gets sacked, or the business is no longer? COVID-19 came, and lots of people lost their jobs.
Absolutely.
Lots of businesses went down.
Absolutely.
So imagine your family was affected. How are you going to cope? Because the truth is that when there is no money, there is no love.
Absolutely.
When there is no money, our guy is thinking of how to buy Maggi and rice. You understand?
That's true.
We think of affection.
Of course not.
We think of romance.
Of course not.
And he's not looking at you like a dog. You don't even have use.
Honestly.
So, what will you tell women? Bring out yourself. Be useful. When you even when the men don't want to be supportive, when you give them reasons to, I believe they will. So please, can you just give our women something?
Well, I think one of the greatest I would advise women is, in the next 10 years, how do you want your child to look at you? I think that's key.
Yes.
That's an icebreaker. Do you want your child to say, oh, that's my mom and nothing is there to look at? Or you want to, children are very proud of their parents. Just the way parents are proud of their children.
Yes.
So how do you want your child to look at it next 3 years, 4 years, 10 years? Look at people like Ngozi, Ngozi, the lady that is all out there. When you look at the history of her family, how her children looked up to her. She didn't just start today.
A mother you can be proud of.
Yeah. It's amazing. Especially Northerners, we relax too much. When you look at that lady that is on 50 naira, Ladi, right? That's Ladi, that's her name. Is it 20 naira or 50 naira? She was is it Ladi or Larry? Ladi, and she used to do the molds, the muds, pots and stuff. She's history today. you know, because in as much as it was back in the 60s, back in the 50s, it still speaks for her family today. So what do you want to be as a mother? You know, what do you want to die as? You know, when you die, what would they say? Oh, rest in peace, or call to glory, or they'll say this wonderful lady has impacted so much, and you know, she had skills and stuff, and these are her children. They'll be like, wow, you mean that's your mom? That kind of thing. Don't you hope for that? I advise women to come out to be independent.
You know, we are always advocating for women to be independent,
Yeah.
irrespective of your marital status.
Yeah.
Whether you're single or you're married,
Yes.
we expect women to be financially independent,
Yes.
and that is what we are advocating
Yes.
for. And we really appreciate you, Pamela.
Thank you so much.
It's really an interesting moment with you,
you. I'm
and we
honored.
really appreciate
Thank you so much.
And we thank all of you,
Thank
and
you.
we appreciate you. And trust me, we're going to bring lots and lots of amazing people here on the show. Please don't forget to click on the like button, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also to share and comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was nice having you.
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.